record thingy. It's a recording has been started, so yay, we are now live. Or
Yeah! How's it
um,
going, everyone?
like I said earlier, Nemo, I kind of cleaned up my computer a few days ago, so I'm kind of in the process of adding more of the shit back into it.
Yeah.
It runs nicely. Every now and then it kind of skips a beat because it's too fucking clean.
Well, a PC is a little bit like a human body. Like, you know, like how, like, there's like a good 20% of our body that's like pure germs?
Yeah.
And once you clean up your PC, it's like that. It's like your body without the germs just doesn't know what the fuck it's doing.
Yeah,
So you
no,
gotta
it's
put the
like
parasites back in there.
yeah, no, it's like it going weird a little bit because I've noticed that every now and then it kind of I want to say it stutters, um, slightly, but it's mostly on the mouse end. But I'm also using a wireless mouse, so I probably have to charge the battery on it properly. Um,
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
right
I
now I'm
also miss
using
one
a wired mouse, which is kind of weird.
yeah.
I've got all these wires all over the place. It's kind of funny. Plus, I've almost completed my office. Yeah, so
Nice.
I took over the storage closet, which also leads to the attic. If you want to call it an attic, it's just a roof with a bit of space and it's got a lot of the what do you call it? Pink stuff in it that needs to be replaced. It's been up there for God knows, I think 40 years. I don't think anybody's actually replaced all that crap.
Fair enough.
So I know that they're supposed to come in here eventually to go upstairs into the attic to get rid of the black mold that's up there because of the amount of heat is being lost onto the throughout the roof.
Black mold isn't that dead.
No, but it's
Like just because it's carcinogenic and can totally fucking murder you,
yeah,
doesn't mean it's that deadly.
no, it's not that deadly. It's fine. As long as I'm not, living in the actual crawl space of the attic, I'm quite fine.
Next you go and tell me fucking asbestos is bad.
Well, we do have the popcorn asbestos on the ceiling. At least I think it is.
So just don't break it. That's all you gotta do. Once you put in asbestos,
Yep.
it's like, yep, just never do any renovations ever again. And
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah, no, that's just basically it. Otherwise, you know, if you do renovations, you have to clear out the one spot. It's slowly, you've got to,
And wear
vacuum
special
seal the
protective
area and then reduce the amount of airflow and traffic going back and forth. So it's quite interesting. It's almost like when they finally found E.T. back in the day for that 1980s film. Everybody got that giant tarp and all the people in the gas suits and everything was hilarious. I'm like, oh, this is what's going to be like later in the future. Everybody's going to be like
Yeah.
this, and apparently, yes.
Did you guys, how big were the lawsuits for you guys with asbestos when it, came back to bite them in the ass?
Well, it's a pretty fairly chunk on the asbestos lawsuits. But-
We're still getting over it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with asbestos lawsuits. See, I'm googling it. Yes. Asbestos lawsuit. Canada. Yeah. So we've got.
This wasn't planned programming, guys.
No. It's never planned program. This is why we do things what we do. It's just all over the place, and this was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, not being planned. That's why I love this. Even if we record, it's never planned. It's hilarious. So apparently, 1.2 out of 100,000 Canadians are diagnosed annually with aggressive disease. So that's a big thing. For context, 153 Canadian men were diagnosed with mesothelioma. Wow, that's a big word. Throughout all of the country's province. By 2003, 344 cases were reported among men. And 78 among women. I wonder why, because men go into the crawl space more often because,
Yeah.
their wives going, I need you to go up to the crawl space and get me something. So, and by 2010, 515. So I think the lawsuits were pretty, big and interesting.
Yeah.
How much each person got, I don't know, but Canadian gold. That's basically.
It
what
was
you
one of
call it.
Australia's biggest lawsuits in history. That's why I remember it as a big.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
all I know is for us, we have a whole new industry on that one because a buddy of mine, he works, or at least worked in that industry of, taking down asbestos products on ceilings and all that. It's a big, heavy job.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Anyways, so what are we talking about today, Mr. Rogue? What's our topics?
Well, I mean, okay, so we had the fight that happened yesterday. Did you hear about it? Did you see it? Did you watch it? Did you?
Oh, you mean the UFC fight? The
Yes.
Conor McGregor versus
Khabib.
Khabib or Khabab.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I better not call him that. He'll fucking jump the stage and attack me.
Yes.
Yeah. So Khabib or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
man, that was a pretty interesting fight. You know, the fact that it went up to the fourth round, I'm not surprised that Conor gassed out. You know.
Yeah, no. I was not shocked. It was going to be a good fight all the way through. But the
longer it goes, the more likely Conor's will gas out.
Yeah, no, come on.
That's
We
his biggest
we knew that going in when it came down to the last official boxing match that he had.
Yeah.
That was a long one. Even though he looked like a little Irishman going, "Give me my gold! Give me my gold!"
Yeah. Give me a belt. Give me a belt. Oh, no water.
While the other guy was just kind of just dancing around him, lightly tapping him here and there, going, "Yeah, go away, go over there."
Yeah. Pretty brutal fight. I do feel a little bad for Conor because basically his career's over now.
There's gonna be Conor Khabib too. Dana is actually gonna be setting that up. That is a possibility. At the moment,
I guess technically they both got. Bib got disqualified, didn't he?
Problem is, it's up to the Nevada Commission to, throw that down. Charges were going to be possibly laid, and it turned out that Conor, being the man that he is, has said, "Fuck no. Let whatever it is stand and let the Nevada Commission deal with it," which is kind of interesting.
No, well, that's Conor's style.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't want to get a fake victory. He would rather fucking die.
Yeah.
He's an Irish boxer. He used to do bare knuckle brawling back in the heyday.
Oh yeah.
So he's not gonna be. He's not gonna allow that type of thing to happen. But as I said, something that fascinates me about Conor McGregor is his training style. He hasn't changed it despite this huge weakness that he has.
Yeah.
He has a terrible weakness of running out of energy. It happened with
not just that, but the being those takedowns that he has to kind of power himself out. He has a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great striker, but when it comes down to his defensive, he needs solid
he's
work
not
on it.
supposed to be a good wrestler, but he would be so much better if he just had that stamina to last rounds. Because usually what happens is he strikes and he strikes and he strikes, and then towards the third or fourth round, very rarely the fourth round, because that's not normal in a championship fight. He just doesn't have the energy anymore, and you think he would have sorted it out by doing some road work or doing something to expand his lungs, because that's his biggest problem.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know why he doesn't fix it. Now, I don't want to sound like a pompous cunt because I don't do UFC, I don't do boxing.
Yeah.
But I followed it long enough to see someone's weakness, and I don't know why someone hasn't held him, sat him down and go, "Listen, Conor, you're a great fighter, you're unbelievable, but, we got to get those little peanut lungs of yours and turn them into man-sized lungs."
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But, no, at the end of the day, he's pretty stubborn. We know that. It's Conor, unfortunately. And you just kind of go with it. Out of his last official... after his first official boxing match, you think he would have learned.
Yeah.
And
but even before that, Nate Diaz. The only reason he lost that one was because he ran out of energy.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the third time it's been purely stamina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then, I look at it this way. He's been boxing he's been fighting for quite some time for the UFC. He's managed to, make a bit of money.
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable, and
Yeah.
great job for him. And if he never fights again, he never has to work again either.
Correct.
So it's not like he's, fucked. But
Yeah.
I do feel bad because I do see a lot of potential. I see that he's got a lot of fighter's instinct.
Mhm.
And once again, I say this not as a fighter myself, but as someone who's followed boxing since he was 10.
Yeah.
Can name off all the greatest boxers and all their best assets.
Okay,
Not
so
much that
so
UFC.
so let's do that. Greatest boxer.
Okay, Muhammad Ali, easily. Or Sugar Ray Leonard. Depends if you want to go pound for pound. Pound for pound, it's Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would kind of go with that. Yeah, no, because Joe
You know?
Louis, he was pretty good pound for pound back in the day.
Yeah. He was pretty good, yeah, but I still think Sugar Ray Leonard and him got in the ring.
Well, you also have Rocky Marciano.
Rocky Marciano? Well, Rocky Marciano was a great fighter, but one thing about him is, A, he was a brawler, so I don't know if he could have taken on the technical, skilled people that came after him.
No, I mean these are like legends who pretty much helped create for example, Lennox Lewis is another legend who most people kind of overlook, and that's the same thing with let's see, Willie Pep, Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson, all those people, they paved the way.
Yeah,
They're
did.
the giants that people stand on the shoulders of.
Oh yeah,
And that's why I say, Rocky Marciano was an incredible boxer. He did shit that, he just, and he's one of the few people that left it, almost a decade before he should have.
Oh yeah,
Just because he's like, look at my fucking hero. He's a mess.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy who can talk and, hug his kids.
I look at that when it comes down to it. I look at Muhammad Ali, and I kind of go, God, he should have got himself out of that ring a long time ago, and he should have never allowed people to hit him as hard as they did, because
he was never the same again after
no.
Yeah, after his big Thriller Manila. He was never the same.
Well, Rumble in the Jungle, Thriller in the Manila. There's a few others, but yeah, he took a lot of hits to his lovely face, and he shouldn't have never have had that.
Yeah, well, but a big part of that was because he was part of the what's it called, what's the Islamic group called?
Muslims?
No, but there's a special church that.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember what he.
And he was raising about 80% of his money went to them.
Yeah, no, I forget which. I forget which one he actually kind of joined up with afterwards.
It was the same one Malcolm X joined.
Oh God! The only ones that I remember from Malcolm X, he ended up dying. What is it?
I'm gonna actually Google it.
Be a great idea, because Cassius Clay.
Yeah. Something. Give me a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I mean,
the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a huge group, and pretty scary group as well. There was even some evidence that a big reason why Muhammad Ali was so anti the Vietnam War wasn't because, of all the racial tension, but because the Nation of Islam was pushing him to push that racial tension.
Yeah.
Because at one point they went to him, listen, dude, you don't even need to fight. All you need to do is go there, fucking with a microphone, be your charming self, inspire the troops, go home, and you don't need to go to jail. You don't need to lose your fighting license.
Yeah.
You don't need to miss 3 years of your best years of boxing, and then, lose a lot of your skill that you had. It was a fucking tragedy what happened to him.
Yeah, no.
With all that shit.
And the weird thing, I hate he allowed it to happen, unfortunately.
No, he allowed it. It was his choice.
Yeah.
But I'm pointing out that.
Yeah, no, he didn't have to. He had an easy out. He was just pretty basically going to be for the the USO or whatever, or USE, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And it was just an easy. It was the same thing like Elvis. He didn't really have to do much in the fighting department after a while.
Well, at first they wanted him to fight, but they negotiated down, and he still said, "Fuck you, I'm not doing anything." And they went, "Well, we have to, we have to take your license away. We have to fucking punish you.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna be a cunt about it, sorry."
Oh yeah. So yeah, there was that. Oh, and there was another fight that happened that was won just this weekend as well. I mean, the Americans had at least 2 solid fights. It was the McGregor fight, and then all of a sudden you had the Kavanaugh fight. That was interesting.
Kavanaugh versus every woman.
Pretty much, and apparently every woman lost.
Yeah. It was just like like one would get in, one would get in the ring at a time. He would just knock them out. Then the next one would come. It was just like a pile of 180 million women.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Oh yeah. So that was
according to the social media, that's what happened.
Mm.
More likely it was about a couple thousand chicks were really really mad, and all the other ones were like, "Nah, dude, he got fucked over. You can't." Just give me his fucking job.
I found it kind of funny, and this is coming from different areas of the right-hand side of the sphere, as well as some of the centralist stuff, like you got Ben Shapiro and so on and so forth, all getting the data that about they were behind the women's vote for the Republicans by at least 10 points, something. And to the course of the Kavanaugh thing, and because of the Democrats being as stupid as they are, they ended up gaining those 10 points. So now they're kind of 50-50 with the Democrats.
Oh, yeah, this is going to lead to Trump winning the next election for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And probably winning the Senate too.
Well, that is basically what the Dems are trying to go for. They were trying to hold on to the Senate and to make sure that another Republican was not going to be able to get on, but they wanted a Democrat because they're running short of them. That supply that they had is no longer going to be a thing. There's at least one more Republican up for grabs, and there's a Democrat that should be coming off soon, and that's just going to be very interesting.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg is probably the topping. And if they lose them, and it's going to be a 7-3, 7-2 split of Republicans versus Democrats, which is huge. But once again, I feel like they're overreacting a little bit. As long as you don't have an activist judge on the Supreme Court, they're just supposed to follow the fucking Constitution. Whatever the Constitution says, their interpretation of it. How about that?
Yeah, the problem with the way how the Democrats run it, they believe that the Supreme Court is their answer and ticket to their feelings and how things should be run, the way how they feel it should be. Whereas
I get that, but go ahead, Vinny.
Whereas the actual idea for the Supreme Court, they're supposed to read the amendments the way they are, as written of that time, not trying to
treat it like a quote unquote living document.
Yeah, instead of trying to bring it up to today's standard, just deal with it as it was written back in the day. This is what it said. This is how we're going to have to treat it. If you want to change it, then you guys are going to have to make the amendments that are needed.
Yeah.
But the way how
100%.
But the way how the Democratic Senate board is like, they just want to treat it as this is a document that we can pretty much, like poetry, decipher it the way how we want it to decipher it, because it's just based on a feeling.
But what I guess I'm trying to get at here is I'm confident, and maybe I'm being stupid here, but I'm confident that Kavanaugh and the other ones will not push activist laws.
No, they won't. They won't.
They're not going to get rid of Roe v. Wade. They're not going to get rid of gay marriage. They're not going to do anything
Roe v. Wade is going to be on the table. We know that eventually. It has to be readdressed because Roe v. Wade was a bad ruling all the way around.
It was a bad ruling, but what's likely to happen is they're not going to take away women's right for abortion.
No, they're not. Give
it back to the state.
Yeah, that's basically what it should be. It should be given to the state. The state should decide on what they want to do and how they want to treat it. Because the amount of money that's being wasted on elective abortions, whether it's pro or against, is insane.
Oh yeah, and I'm someone who's probably pro-choice
Yeah.
more than I am pro-life. I don't like the idea of it, but I certainly don't like it being used as a contraceptive. However, it needs to be there. It's the fact that it's abused is better than it not existing.
No, that is true.
That's my attitude.
No, I get it. That is true. That makes sense. But I kind of not gonna say I'm pro-choice or pro-life. I'm kind of dead in the center. I mean, I'm pro-human, and adults kind of supersede children. Unfortunately.
No, I agree with that, and also what I'll say even further is, I really do wish there was more of a responsibility taken. Like, this wasn't a way to opt out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, and it shouldn't be treated like the morning after pill. We'll put it that way.
No.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. I think we agree there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, fucking, if you're a meth addict who's fucking fucked up your life 8 ways of Sundays, forcing you to have a kid isn't gonna goddamn help anyone.
No.
You know?
No. I always find it funny
Especially
that the government's so in the face about how people should be treating their children. Yeah, you should have the ability to snuff out whatever life that you want, but you should also take the consideration that this is a life. Whether it's one that's come to term or not, that's a whole different thing. Hell, some people want it to be snuffed out just before it actually leaves the womb, even though it's almost full term.
I've met a few like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and that's the problem if you keep on letting it go the way it does.
Yeah.
Is it gets a little fucking nutty.
Oh yeah. It'll make it even much more funnier the moment the artificial one becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see how many women are going to be jumping the fence on that one, kind of, oh, you can't do that. It's taking our jobs away. Our ability to give birth is being taken away. Well, oh God, there's been a lot of other weird things, and me myself, we're having a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Aww.
I know, and there's a lot of things I could be thankful for. Right now, the furry fandom is having some throwdown with Mr. Medicare, which is kind of hilarious all by itself.
When will people learn? You just don't fuck with Medico.
Nah.
You know, when he's going like this, just fucking apologize, say I'm sorry, and hope he doesn't look into your history, because he'll find something.
Well, here's the beautiful thing. It's not him who gets to look into somebody's history. It's the diggers, such as people on Kiwi Farm. Kiwi Farm seems to be the best place to go for all of your drama and news that you'll ever want about anything or anyone, including fandoms, people, so on and so forth. It's there in black and white, waiting for you to just stumble upon it. And Jim had the ability, or at least was gifted, this information on Kiro the Wolf. And Kiro the Wolf is a very unusual human being who's into zoophilia, amongst things. But that itself is insane. You know what zoophilia is?
Well, last time I checked, it was being turned on by the act of a dog and an animal and a human copulating.
Yeah,
and that's the most PG way I can say it.
Yeah, the sexual fixation on a non-human animal, and the relationship sexually for humans. It's very unique. It's very, very unique. Then he's also into necrophilia and a few other things, which is like, wow. And his group has decided to die on an unusual hill with him as, the spokesperson. It doesn't matter that Kiro helped that district or that area of fandom because of another YouTuber who is pretty big. I forget his name. He did a Q&A with Kiro beforehand, which brought Kiro up the actual social scaling very quickly. He was pretty much the talk of the town. And after that, there was a lot more digging on this particular individual, and you find out that, if you go to Kiwi Farms and you type in Kuro the Wolf, and you will see everything. It's there laid out for you, black and white. There's a lot of questionable things that have been leaked out by his own community.
Yeah, but it makes me worry about the in general, man.
Yeah.
Like how common is this shit? It makes me wonder. And if it is, should we do something fucking about it? Should we, like, how do I put this? If there really is, places where there's incestual relationships or, child-adult relationships going on at convention, how the fuck do we put an end to that?
The only way you can the only people who can do that is the people within that community. And basically, that's what the original founders of the furry fandom pretty much stated way back in the day. This is going back in, I'm guessing, the 1970s or whatnot. I've given most of the information for the furry fandom to our local furry Draconeth. Because he's more interested about his history, or at least the history of the fandom, and I came across a lot of data, and I gave it to him, and maybe one day I'll have him do a sit-down, and we can do a Q&A of what he's learnt, and go from there. I've also introduced him to another really whacknut, the CWC, the man behind Sonic Chew, Christian Wesley Chandler. Christian, he's the I can't really call him a mongoloid, but he's kind of like that for whatever reason.
Okay.
He's become like a transhuman, and we'll put it that way. He's very special and unique.
He's a pyro fox, I get you.
Yeah. He's very, very unique. It's like, oh my god. You thought the whole, the princess, the Princess Toad thing, the crown to make people magically into women in that was a thing, but this is a whole new fandom all by itself.
So much porn.
I know, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And being Canada and being crazies, we're not far away from it, because a while back, I want to say 4 days ago, there was a man that was accused of kicking a woman at an anti-abortion rally in the face of a slew of assaults. And this particular gentleman, he's being charged for mischief charges.
Mischief?
Yes. I mean...
Is that what we call it now?
Yeah, that's what that's what it's being called, because, it's mischief. I mean, who the hell cares that he decided to kick a woman in the head using a unique roundhouse? I would have to...
It's pretty... Well, how about we call it fucking, aggressive battery?
That would be kind of cool.
Or aggravated assault.
Oh, that'd be...
I think aggravated assault would be a correct term.
Yeah, that would be the correct term.
Because it was him being emotional about it and doing assault.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this earlier. Now, I am not gonna condone what he did. It was pretty fucking monster. However, it's kind of impressive he pulled off that kick that easily.
No, he has a bit of skill, but not a good enough amount of skill in order to do it properly. Because if he was aiming for the phone and smacked her in the side of the head while doing it...
Oh, he wasn't aiming for the phone.
That's what he said. He said he was aiming for... I know, bro,
but come on. Do you believe that? Really?
Yeah.
Do you not think that was just not an excuse that he could kick her in the head, and then you've got to prove he didn't have intent now?
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfect excuse. Get the fuck out of here. I meant to kick your phone. Well, kick your head. Get the fuck out of here.
But yeah, no, I thought it was hilarious. He decides to kick a lovely lady in the head while aiming for a phone.
Yeah.
Whether he did it or...
No, he aimed for a head.
Yeah, he did. I thought it was hilarious, because if you look at it, he as he's losing the battle on the pro-life versus pro-choice front, he decides to hunker down, sticks his tongue out, and he looks like he's he's about to do something, and no one actually clued in. Then all of a sudden, he lets go of this wild roundhouse kick, and yeah, everything just kind of goes tits up.
Yeah, I will say this though, because, like, it was insane what the debate was about. Like, what was the question he asked again right before he decided to kick her? Oh yeah, if someone gets raped, should they be forced to have a baby?
Yeah, and he puts his thumb up, thumb down, thumb in the middle.
Yeah, and then her response was, the woman being raped doesn't change the fact that a life's still a life inside.
Yeah.
You know, which, once again, that's a pretty extreme statement, but it's not incorrect.
No.
You know, it's still alive.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow that route that obviously that woman believed, regardless of how it was born, it's still murder.
Correct.
You know, that's what she believed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tough one. That's a very, like, good on her for staying true to her
belief system. Yeah. No, that's
rough.
Yeah, it is. Because for me, I kind of look at it at two different points of view. Yes, people should have the right to choose whether they want to have their child or not. And if it's something that has been gifted to them in the most heinous way possible, being rape or whatnot, then they should have the right to choose. Now, whether they wish to, do the more religious route, have the kid, birth it, give it away to the state or to the church or whatever, that's up to them.
Yeah, adopt it out or whatever. Yeah. Or even if they've really this determined, raise it themselves. That's their choice.
That's their choice.
You know, and fucking fuck this guy for deciding that's an attackable offense. You know.
No, if these pro-lifers just sat down, or pro-choicers versus the pro-lifers, they both sat down at the table, and actually just talked.
Yeah.
And be able to truly listen to each side, they might actually, haggle out a proper, deal. But because of the factor that neither one of them are willing to, sit down and actually properly hash it out.
Yeah.
It just comes back down to maybe we should throw them into a UFC ring and have a bit of blood sport going on.
A Habib versus Gregor style thing. Because
Yeah.
We'll have Chuck Norris over here, and we'll have, I don't know, one of the. How about this? The girl who got kicked gets to choose a champion out of all the guys who said they would have defended her honor.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, I've seen they comment a lot.
Oh yeah.
Comment, right. So she gets to pick a champion, fucking Game of Thrones style.
Oh yeah. Makes sense. I mean, it'd be like the Viper versus the Mountain.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if this guy gets to be the Viper, but fair.
No, but I'm just saying it'd be like. I mean, he tries. No. It looks like he tried to be the Mountain, but he didn't kind of work it out. He's not even as skilled as the Viper, but he tried a fancy move, and it didn't turn out very well for him.
That's exactly the thought process I'm having. Or maybe except my one was more like if what was his name? Tywin Lannister, the midget.
Yeah.
If he was the one that ended up having to fight the Mountain.
Tyrion. It's Tyrion Lannister, the midget. Tywin was his dad that he ended up shooting in the gut while he was on the crapper.
Yeah, what a way to go. Anyway, yeah.
Actually, there's a thing right there. I just want to get sidetracked on it because we have a lot of time currently. What was your favorite character currently on the roster that is the Game of Thrones?
I did like Tywin Lannister a lot. He's a pretty cool man.
Tywin was a very... Tyrion and Tywin, they're kind of similar to each other, but they conduct things a little differently. Tywin was really very nationalistic focused. He is the true, you want to say conservative, where it's about the war that he's fighting right now. It's not about somebody far gone. It's this is our people, this is our land, this is our war, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what's her name, the dragon lady.
Not what's her face? I know who you're talking about. Danny. Danny.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her. I am Khaleesi.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a queen. I'm Khaleesi. Yeah. No, I'm not Khaleesi. I'm a queen.
Yeah, Danny.
I can't decide what I am.
She's and it's just. The way how they've rewrote the character, I don't know. I mean, when you start off with the introduction of Khaleesi, or at least Dany, you can see that she has a lot of growing up to do because her brothers and one of the cons are pretty much, cons.
Yeah, she gets forced into a marriage.
Yeah.
She makes it work for her. She doesn't ends up falling in love with the guy.
Yeah.
She ends up accidentally murdering the guy.
Yep.
And then she figures out her own.
She has her brother set up and for the the atrocities that he laid in front of her. She then figures out that she is truly the Dragonborn and she's one of three. And and it's just like, okay, there's a lot more story to her. There's a lot more growth in book versus in TV series. It's like you're jumping around very quickly.
They didn't miss a lot of context for her.
Yeah. Another thing I really hated was the Sansa Stark one, because you took away Sansa's growth by allowing her to be raped in the TV series.
I guess that too, but I never really enjoyed Sansa Stark. Her character was a little forced, especially in the TV show.
Yes.
I was gonna say, but you know who I hate more? The other one. What's her name? The other Stark girl.
Arya?
Arya Stark.
Yeah.
Like, she had a really great character arc up until she became, part of the Faceless Men.
Yeah.
And then she's like...
Pretty much she's an assassin, but she's just the feminist version of it.
But I really wish they either, A, she stayed an assassin and followed their ways for a bit longer, or because, I felt like... I don't know. There's that thing when she's getting, where the other girl is trying to kill her, right?
Yeah.
And that girl's got way more training on her than Arya has. Yet somehow she managed to beat, Arya managed to beat her through this bullshit thing. I don't know. I felt like it was bullshit.
In the TV series, it's not properly explained, but in the book, it's a little bit more explained.
Well, what happened in the book in that part? I never read the last book.
With Arya, she actually goes through a lot of the trials as a Faceless Man. So she has to go. She actually is a blind merchant for a while.
No. I know she was a blind merchant.
Yeah.
I know she did a bunch of other stuff, and I know she was quite good, but she wasn't as good as that other girl, as far as I knew. But that other girl's been doing for years and years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit hard, but I thought it would have been. I'm not saying I wanted her to die, but I guess I thought she got off too easily.
No, she did. That? Yeah, no, I will agree. She did get off a little too easily. It's like, where's Rickon? Because Rickon is another one that kind of...
the Faceless Man apparently can assassinate anyone they
anywhere.
Want for any price.
Yes.
Yet, somehow, Arya survives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I was a bit geeked out by that, but that's just because, I don't know, I want to see women get murdered. I don't know. I'm a little sick of the how do I put this? The trope of the unstoppable female.
The trope, it only works for certain characters. Arya is the only one that has the proper unstoppable female. Dany, she's...
Well, what about the other girl, the other woman? This one who's done right, by the way. What's her name? The Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth. Okay, now that one was a weird one because in book she's made herself to believe that she's the unstoppable woman. She's bested by Tyrion's brother, what was his face? Jaime. And she ends up kind of having a mutual respect with her and between her and Jaime. This is the way how the book is decided. Now in the TV, it's more of a romantic relationship almost, or it's viewed as one. Whereas the other way, it's more or less friendship between two friends that have commonality, common grounds. It's like, okay, you've taken a very strong, growing character who's trying to be the very best of the best to a person who has not only defeated the Hound, almost best Jaime, but Jaime still kind of surpasses her somehow, And then she's, a few other things that you throw on top of her, and you're like, I don't know. Because again,
I just felt like she was a powerful female character done well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's just too many rewrites that they have when it comes down to putting yourself into the TV series, and that's the one thing. I never did like the TV series. I'm still waiting for the last 2 books to show up to see exactly how he's going to write it, but it'll be a while. And, for Canada, winter is here.
No. No, spring is here now. We're getting the sunny days.
For you, winter is coming.
Flowers are blooming and the bees are having sex with them.
Yeah. You have the winter is coming slogan going on. We already have winter is here. It's very unusual. But we haven't get past Halloween yet, so that's a different thing altogether.
Nice.
We've got some time.
But yeah, we do have some time, don't we? What else have we got here? Let's look it out.
Well, we had a lot of different things. I mean, it's just whatever comes off the top of your head, I usually kind of go with it. Because I know Pan is still working on the new shirt, or at least the idea that I proposed to her.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for that one.
I'm not going to release that information as of yet, but we do have another anime-style shirt that'll be coming out.
I got a question for you. Well,
yeah.
We're going a little bit back to Kavanaugh here.
Yeah.
But did you read up how Jordan Peterson was like, because I know you're not a fan of Jordan Peterson, so you might find this. But he said, if Brett Kavanaugh gets selected, he should actually step down based on all the controversy he's raising.
See, that's the problem I have about with our man, Mr. Peterson. He's very selective on his approach on things.
Yeah. Because here's one where I actually kind of agree with you. I don't know what he's getting at. Like, if he can't see that this is clearly a manipulation and this is clearly a stall to get, to smear him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just doesn't get that, or if he meant if he gets how do I put this? If the FBI investigation was proven true, he should have stepped down. I don't know what he means, and he doesn't really get into it.
No,
he kind of pretended it never happened.
The problem with him, he was an unknown in the beginning of his YouTube career, and because of the fact...
He still is an unknown.
I know, but because of the factor that he decided to say no when it came down to an article, I can't remember what it was. I think it's Article 08 or 108 or something like that.
Article 47 or whatever the fuck.
Whatever it is. It's the transgender slap-on that they put in, which is part of the Criminal Code of Conduct. All it did was just kind of label that, transsexuals and anybody who identifies as being a tree actually exist, and they should be treated as a human being. That's about it. There's no law that says that you're going to be penalized for not identifying as whatever they want to identify as, being a tree or a squid or whatever. It's more about the law recognizing them as an individual, as a person, like everybody else. And he kind of stretched the truth a little bit on that one.
No, I don't know about that.
No. Here's the weird thing. You have to look at the actual code of conduct itself and the wording.
No, but I have done that. I've read the code of conduct.
Yeah, but the wordplay there's nothing in it that will charge you.
No, it doesn't charge you. You're right there. He is stretching the truth a little bit. Saying, they want to throw me in jail.
No.
So I'll agree with you there, but the fact is, because this, I guess, let's just say, because we have to pretend for a minute that they can't just garnish his wages, which is what they totally can do.
That's up to the university, dude. That's a whole different...
But what I mean is, let's just say he kept on saying, she.
Yeah.
Even though they're like they, right?
Yeah.
And he ends up getting a fine.
Yeah.
And he goes, fuck you, I'm not paying the fine. Suck my dick.
Then they would have to go through. Then they would have to go through legal arbitration, and again, that's the university versus him.
And then eventually, after all that, they'll just take it out of his wage.
They may. It comes back down.
But that's probably what would happen if he lost.
Probably. That's only if he loses, because again, our Supreme Court, and again, this varies from place to place. Our federal Supreme Court reads laws verbatim. They don't just make it up on a feeling.
No, they don't. But that's what I'm saying. Worst case scenario for Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Right? Is they take it out of his wages, which is ample at the moment because he's making about $1 million on fucking Patreon, right? And that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think he can afford it.
You're right. He's not going to go to prison for it. Assuming he had no money and had nothing for him, even then they'll just say, "Well, we'll create a payment."
Yeah, a payment plan. That's basically what it comes down to, and the only people that would have the ability to fine him is the university themselves. And if he decides to sue them, he can. He has the legal rights to do so.
Yeah. So, the students also have a legal right, technically, to sue him.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them the right pronouns.
Yeah,
but they probably wouldn't.
They wouldn't win,
or they've got to prove damages.
Yeah, because they would have to prove that he was doing it intentionally.
Well, not even that, but they also have to prove damages, even if it is intentional.
Yeah.
Even if it is, fuck you. I know you're they, but I'm gonna call you a she. Right?
Yeah.
You got to show what damages came from that. And if your damages are just, it made me feel bad. Sorry, we don't work on feeling.
Yeah.
You got to show me tangible effect.
Yeah.
You know, and they would have to be willing to forego their educational career, the person suing, to show damages.
Correct.
And then they've got to prove that wasn't just to fuck them over. They've got to prove that it was a direct result of Jordan Peterson saying they, not she.
Correct.
You know, which is, once again, this is where I get, you're right, he is making a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
But I do want to say this at the same time, in his defense. I think he does see the future and goes, if we keep on placating, if we keep on ignoring, it could lead to what his fears are.
Yeah, no, and I will agree that makes sense. If he's worried about what the future can entail down the road, if we go on this nice steady little path of feels over reals, then yeah, I will agree. But
that's not the case right now.
It's not the case.
And it's not to say so.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, listen, I'm doing this because I'm scared for our children's future.
Yeah.
That they won't have a world where they can speak freely.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to speak freely.
I would defend him wholeheartedly on his ability and right to voice his opinion. Yeah. Whether I agree with it or not, he has the right. But the moment he...
the problem is that doesn't sell as well.
No. The moment he conflates the truth, and he's done it on a few occasions, it's like, this person who I would have probably agreed with down the road, kind of going, yeah, you have the right to say this. Now I've got to kind of second guess him because of the factor that he's playing with, or he's dabbling in the artful dodger kind of lies that is like, you're stretching the rules here. And after looking at it from both sides of the spectrum, and I kind of go, there's not enough here that would actually charge you, Jordan Peterson, for not being, forthcoming with somebody else's identity, or so it's like, no. So
and let's be 100%.
Yeah.
Like even meaner to because I'm rarely harsh on Jordan Peterson, so let me do it. Let me take the opportunity while I'm in a harsh mood on him. After all this shit he's put the university through, after fucking the whole thing, right? What happens? He says, basically, how do I put this? Sorry. He still hasn't been fired from the university.
Nope.
After all this shit.
Nope.
He still hasn't been fired.
Correct.
You know, so how real was your fears? Like, if this is just about freedom of speech, fuck yeah, I agree with you. I am 100% for, destroying anyone trying to decide how I talk. Right? But you sold this in a way that was not on it.
No. And
that's why I get your frustration.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's on the Jordan Peterson camp, and it's like, oh, he's right on all these grounds, and I can't believe how all of Canada is going to go with its gender laws and so on and so forth. I'm like, wait, Are any of you guys Canadian? Have any of you read the Criminal Code of Conduct additional that they're going to be throwing in? There's nothing that persecutes anybody for...
I need to read it. Jordan Peterson read it for me.
Yeah. And I'm like going, if you read it verbatim, word for word, all it is just tacking on the gender expression, the transsexual, and that's it. Everything else, it's exactly the same as a straight individual or whoever else who exists in Canada under whatever religious content or whatever else that you have. Okay, we all have the right to live peacefully. That's basically our freedoms. And it's like, okay, once you look at the freedoms of Canada and you kind of go, okay, there's nothing here that, you know, causes a huge ruling to say you're going to be heavily fined and maybe, you know, imprisoned just for not identifying somebody as a squirrel. But no, and his continuation here of, you know, asking Judge Kavanaugh to step down if he's, you know, confirmed. Well, the man is confirmed, and I doubt he's going to be stepping down anytime soon because the evidence against him is vague. There's no date, there's no evidence, there's no anything to support the allegations being laid out from his opposing side of the Democrats. And again, I have to go with the Democrats here. I don't care if Blazin Ford, whatever her name is the you know, the vocal person in this, or whoever else they dusted out who's said that he showed off his penis during a party to them. Congratulations. You're probably the second girl that's probably seen it.
Yeah.
Be happy, or just, you know, it was how long ago? Again, no one remembers this. No one actually has any reported evidence or has ever been confirmed that this also happened. And the amount of witnesses that the other one has, it's questionable.
It's substantial.
Yeah.
No, but how many witnesses Kavanaugh had?
Yeah.
You know, the worst thing he can be called out for doing is abusing some fucking ice.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean meth ice. I mean ice from from a cup that he threw because he was mad one day. It's like, if that's the worst thing you did in fucking college, and goddamn, you're a saint.
Yeah.
You know, the fucking, if any of the shit comes out from what I did when I was, you know, in high school to 21, holy shit, am I fucked? You know. Yeah.
But no, I mean, when do we call it? You know, how long does this act of rape? Again, it's the act of. It's not really the actual. Yeah. How long can we hold this person? Because again, if I remember correctly, unless it's murder, everything has a statute of limitation.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much across the board, almost to every Western nation. You have a limitation of certain offensive, especially the lesser ones. You know, petty theft or whatever, and you're like, you can't be charged after 5 years or whatever it is, depending on that limitation. I was like, now we're gonna ring this guy out is for what? Something that may have happened. Again, may have happened, might have happened.
Yeah.
What, over 30, almost 40 years ago?
Yeah.
I was like, if I can, dust off some of the atrocities that were laid upon me, going back at least 40 years ago, there'd be a lot of people up for grabs. But I don't have that ability. I mean, I have to.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I always say not yet, because you never know. You can always hope.
Yeah, no, one day I might be able to, but at the end of the day, whether Peterson likes it or not, the man is going to be the Supreme Court judge. And the only way that he'll ever be taken off is through the same way as you would be able to, get rid of a president of the United States. And even that's questionable.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think he should step down.
No.
I don't think there was sufficient enough evidence to even make him a sus. So, I'm glad that it went the way it did. I'm shocked and appalled at the country yet again, and the rest of the world for behaving the way they are. You know, like assuming Kavanaugh's guilt and assuming the other one's innocent. It disgusts me deeply that we live in such a radicalized community that everyone's just loses their fucking minds over nothing.
Well, it brings me back to a long discussion that we had a while back, and an ongoing discussion that happens within the manosphere in general, which is suicide. If Kavanaugh took this to heart, and he decided to off himself, even though the evidence against him was very, iffy at best, how would the opposite side feel? I don't think they would care.
Yeah.
And it makes it even worse because of the factor that the counts for both men and women for, the last, I want to say 5 years, have been skyrocketing.
Yes, it has.
And that makes no sense for anybody for the most part. There's no clear indication on women, and in Canada, it's older women that's offering themselves very quickly.
Well, not just that, but this has been a steady climb. Ever since like about the 1950s, women's unhappiness has been steadily increasing.
Yes.
Since the so-called freedom, they seem to
the
be
emancipation of women.
yeah, quote unquote. Because they were always free. They just had different. It was a different life that was set upon them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Now, it's once again it kind of pisses me off that they only the only reason they're focusing on this is because women are committing suicide at a higher rate than they were a few years ago, when men's rate has been steadily going up since fucking.
Well, especially when it comes down to the younger men. I mean, older men are still in that category. I'm going to pull out the statistics for the American side, because the Canadian side, it's still interesting, because we'll just focus here on the women. In 2015, suicides claimed the lives of 3,269 Canadian men and 11,136 men.
Yeah.
And it's a similar pattern that keeps going, and it's actually in weird cases doubling in some aspects, from 12% to almost 15% in some cases, closer to 50%, and unfortunately, no one really understands the reason of why.
Well, what are your theories?
I'm gonna say hypergamy.
Yeah.
Because of the factor that women have been given the ability to go to work, and they have been told that they can have children whenever.
Yeah.
And
which is a lie.
Yeah, which is completely, we all know is a lie. And on top of that, there is the belief that they can get any man, even if they're 40, and be able to have kids because they froze their eggs, and that's another industry that very questionable because they're lying to them. And they find out the shocking truth. It crumbles down around them, and this woman who is this high-powered mogul finds out that she's going to be barren for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Everything comes crumbling down. Now, for men, on the other hand, after they get divorced, and this is something that the people within the sphere don't want to talk about, their happiness kind of increases to a degree.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, yeah. I was kind of having this argument with a girl the other night, and she was telling me that when their parents broke up, her mum got 65% of her dad's assets. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot, And she was trying to argue with me that no, if anything, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't push it further because obviously.
Yeah, you don't want to because they're a little crazy on that.
It's a mum, but it's mum versus it's a mum and dad. It's too close to her to be like.
Yeah.
Let's just say he's making $100K a year, like now he's making what, 40K?
Yeah,
and he's got to start again. No house, no car, no possessions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got to start from scratch at 40 years old
No, that's
with only 35% of what he had.
Yeah, that's a risk right there. I don't think he's going to do it.
Like, oh, fine. I get that your mum was a stay-at-home mum. She has no skills. Needs something to get her shit together.
Uh-huh.
I get that, but fuck me. 65% is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the solution is there either, because she had a point with, well, my mum was a stay-at-home mum. She, didn't work for 20 years. What the fuck's she gonna do?
The only thing I can actually say is, because this was a business relationship, and marriage is a business relationship, or should be acted as,
yeah,
a certain amount of money should be calculated for the stay-home mom.
Yeah, okay. You're right. It should be added up.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like it shouldn't be bare minimum half.
No.
It should be like X equals Y plus what responsible, like how responsible you are for fucking up the marriage.
Yeah.
Equals how much you get.
Correct.
And, none of this fucking, you get an X amount of my wages too bullshit.
No.
You get maybe, for the first 12 months, you get some sort of payout if the guy's extremely wealthy.
Correct. If. But again, it should be, again, it should equal out to the amount of time that you were in the marriage.
Yep.
So if you were there for 5 years, you should be getting a certain settlement for 5 years. And no,
you know what? 25% for 20%. 20% for 5 years.
For 5 years. 25 if you want to go, 30 if you want to go a little extreme. But for 5 years, that adds up pretty nicely. Then, if you have any children, that automatic will be support for the children. It should go directly to the children themselves. It shouldn't go to the actual mom or the parent who has control of the children. Money should be banked away for the children, for future.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's required that they have educational supplies that need to be pulled, then it should be governed through whatever negotiator that has been agreed upon between the two of them to act as a liaison for the child to get those items that they need.
Yeah.
And it has to be within reason. It can't be just because they want the next Nike sneakers that's going to net them pretty close to $800. I don't think you really need Nike sneakers that are $800.
You don't.
Right.
It's very interesting. And once again, I don't know what the solution is, but I will add something that I find curious is, in this scenario where I was talking about,
yep,
the person said that, her mum isn't struggling for money, but her dad says he is.
And I was like, why?
Well, and she was like, I don't know if I believe him. I'm like, I kind of do, but I was a little conflicting. There is a few, shall I say, deviance from the mean.
Yeah.
That make it like not the usual marriage, shall I say?
Oh yeah.
However, it was just one of those nights where I did cringe a little bit, like, you're really okay with that?
Yeah, a lot of people.
I'm not gonna fight you, but okay.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are very questionable. And what I find very fascinating is the amount of men in this case. This is a suicide rate for men on the American side. They're willing to off themselves, especially when I look at the actual the graphs that they made, and
yeah,
all of them for 2016 are almost within the same means of each other. They're almost exactly all lined up.
Yeah.
And I find it hilarious in some way. I mean, yes, the 15 to 24-year-olds are slowly growing, but in comparative to the other groups, they're all almost exactly the same. I mean, yeah, there's a variance by maybe a margin of 10, maybe 20 between each other, but they're increasing based on the population. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still much higher than the other ones were,
yeah.
but...
And the ones that are, like, less than 15, I don't think they're going to be doing anything.
No.
The entire thing is pretty much almost zero. Yeah, you might get maybe one or two individuals. Actually, here in 2016, less than 15, not 0.73.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's barely a whole person.
Yeah. That's very low. Is that per 100,000 or?
Yeah, it's per 100,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Anyway, well, we've probably done our full time at this point, haven't we?
we pretty much probably gone over. I don't know. We're pretty ready to go. Hit the hay. Do other things. I have other recordings I've got to finalize and deal with. It's very interesting.
I gotta take Thomas to the vet.
Yes, your excitement and drama that you had there, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Sorry to all the audience if you were listening in on, Monday and you expected me to be on Gator and Frog. I apologize. I was trying to track down my kitty.
Tuesday.
She's come back now, but Tuesday. Same fucking difference. Anyway, she's okay now. She's just she's got a bit of a cut under her underarm.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna take her to the vet today to get that stitched up.
That's good. That's good.
I was waiting for it to heal first because I thought it was a little cut.
Yeah.
Then it can heal, but it doesn't seem to be healing.
Yeah,
so
no, it's probably because of the collar being stuck under a limb.
Yeah, and the rape.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, and we're going to have much later.
Kitty rape.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I feel bad for her, and people need to know that happened. Okay, poor thing.
From kitty rape to Judge Kavanaugh to Conor McGregor and his loss. This was yet another exciting edition of the TRPC, the Red Pill Compendium, featuring Nemo and myself, the Canadian Rogue. And for all those who are playing along, if you want to if you're on the Twitch side, roll down, or actually there's, in the top link, there's something called Quest Mode. If you want to, and again, it's all up to you, you can hit that while you're listening and fulfill whatever quests that are there. They're very basic and very easy. I tried to make sure that none of them are related to mobile devices, like, for example, mobile games and that, or whatnot. A lot of them will be your PC games, or maybe going over to Hulu or whatever to do whatever that's requested. What happens is you'll end up giving us a little bit of help, supporting the show and that, which is kind of cool. And if you guys don't like it, please let me know that it's something that you don't want to see on our program whatsoever, because I want more of opinion from the people, our listeners. This is a community-driven show. This is designed for the listeners, and to a degree by the listeners. And I want to make sure that you guys are very vocal. So if this is something that you want us to continue with, let me know. Or if this is something that you don't want us to continue on, great. There's other options that we can get towards. Also, we have a Patreon that we've opened up and I've never really pimped. So all you have to do is go into whatever it is, Patreon/Gator and Frog, Gator the letter N Frog, and you'll find us there. If you want, you can donate $1 or whatever else. Again, supporting our little podcast that we do. Also, we have a new lineup of scheduling. So Monday, the TRPC. Tuesday is our podcast. Thursday is Jacob's adventure in comic books, or bizarre adventures in comic books, or comic book adventure. We are working on a few other new programs. We have the radio shows that are happening Mondays through Fridays. The only time I haven't really figured out, it's all PST, and I'm thinking I might throw it on midnight PST, going into about the wee hours of 2 o'clock in the morning. But then again, I might change it. But because everything's already been pre-done up, all you have to do is check it whenever you want to. We also have the drive-in on Saturdays at 7 o'clock my time. What is it for you? 3 over there?
No. 12 o'clock.
Okay. So there you go. For those who are in Melbourne, or the unusual upside down country. Yes. the make-believe Australian continent. Land of Oz. As well as we have. And on Fridays we'll be having our classic cartoons. And they'll be 2 hours long. Again, catch it on the Twitch side. They'll probably be uploaded on YouTube as well, and as well as our BitChute. But thanks for listening for me ramble, and pimp up all this new stuff that we have, new content. And if there's anything else that you want, head over to our Discord, leave messages, harass me, do whatever you want.
Please. We want it and we need it.
We love it. And yes, because again, you guys are precious. And we want to hear from you. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, this was lovely, and I hope we can do this again next week. Until then, have a good night.
Yeah.